Pod goes, Droid goes, Mac goes, Linux goes, servos go, lights go, hydraulics go, dot matrix goes, and piss go, and keyboards go. But there's one sound that no one knows. What do the bots say?
This is madness.
Make my shiny metal ass.
I'm an android.
My name is Optimus Prime.
What do the bots say?
Danger, Bill Robinson, danger.
What do the bots say?
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
We are autonomous robotic organisms on
What
the
do
planet
the bots
Cybertron.
say?
Resistance is futile. I do believe they think I am some sort of god.
What do the bots say?
I'll be back.
Big red eyes, metal toes, keyboard, mouse, security holes. If you get a virus, you'll turn blue. Backup, reformat, reinstall. So digital. No.
A show about technology, trends, futurism, entrepreneurship, and lots more. With your host, Steve Favis.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is Steve Favis, and I am broadcasting again. I took a little break for some work-related stuff. I just wanted to say that I was also entering a simultaneous competition for I won't mention the competition yet, but I want to publish my results, basically. And what I want to talk about is some of the results that I got. It's pretty trippy. It kind of tripped me out a little bit. It is related to DNA and stuff like that. The Darwin evolutionist people kind of were saying that there's some relationships between the TCP/IP packet and the DNA molecule sections, or the base pairing, basically. And the conclusions that I came about, the conclusions I came about in viewing this stuff is we're looking at this is the trippy part. They're phrasing the question wrong. Basically, they're saying that the TCP/IP packet was related to communication or a message or an encoder on DNA, or the deoxyribonucleic acid. And there's some rules of base pairing. What is it? Some of the DNA only pairs with certain pairs. I'll look it up just to show you what I was looking at. I don't have them all memorized, but there are some hard rules here. Adenine pairs with pyrimidine, thiamine, and cytosine always pairs with purine and guanine. So this is like four pairs that always match up and link up, basically, and wrap themselves around, basically. In summary, in my humble opinion, they're phrasing the question wrong here, and the real question is I believe what we're looking at is a digital message or digital message encoding, basically, but we're looking at the equivalent of, if any of you are familiar with programming or coding or whatnot, there's a source code, and that source code gets compiled into a machine language or binary, basically, so that the machine can execute certain instructions on the processor and stuff like that. So we're not looking at a TCP/IP packet that is an encoded source code. What I believe we're looking at is an encrypted machine code, basically. And what I mean is that I'm going to use the analogy between source code is to machine code as DNA is to the actual or actually let me refresh that. Source code is to machine code as X is to DNA, basically. So what we're missing here, if you know the summary between in math, basically, kind of a reciprocity or I want to say an analogy here, a loose analogy, basically. There's a base number pairing that's going on that's very similar to what we're looking at in DNA. I suspect DNA is an encrypted machine code, or a bioequivalent of machine code, basically. So, I mean, once they started bringing that analogy, I think there is some similarities between source code programming, binary, and this sort of DNA base pairing stuff, basically. So, again, I don't know what base numbers are using, or I don't know what the source code is, but I think there is there is something there going on there that is digital in a sense, basically. So. I'm gonna show you a little bit of some of my revelations with those assumptions under the assumptions that DNA is some sort of encrypted messaging system for biology, biotech biology, basically, and not necessarily the actual source code. Again, source code is different than the actual machine language that the computer speaks. Source code is something that the programmer writes, and then it gets converted into a machine language that the machine can understand using binary or whatever. So, nobody can program in binary. Well, most people can anyway. So, only simple stuff probably. But okay, I'll go over some of the stuff that I'm going to go to. I'm going to talk about more in depth tonight. I broadcast at midnight because I'm a new broadcaster. There's so many shows going on at during the afternoon and evening. If you're West Coast, midnight, nobody's broadcasting. Maybe I could pick up some live viewers or whatnot. So what I'll do is here, I'll show some images here on my browser here.
down and I'm jumping around, and the rumpus and ruckus are comfortable now.